Okay, so what y'all find was the slope? 1 over 2. Very good. So rise of 1 over 2. So my m equals 1/2. And what's my b? So it's kind of in between, so you don't know for sure. You might be able to guess, and if you're dealing with multiple choice, I 100% would put that in if you're given it, if it's given to you in slope-intercept form, you can put it in y equals and look for the 2 points. So what's the 2 points? Can anybody give me one? 1 and 1. That one's easy. Negative 1 and 0. Good job. And that one is called what? You don't have to know, but you should know. That is your x-intercept, which is also known as your 0, and which will eventually also be known as your solution. But 0 was on that last CBA. Okay, so we are put it in slope-intercept form. So we already know that we have y equals m x, but we're missing the b. So we're going to be using point slope quite often. So let's use the slope-intercept formula to find our b. So you can use the 1 and 1 or 0 and negative 1. It really doesn't matter. Which set of points do y'all want to use? Okay. So then y would equal 1. And again, it goes x and then y, and that's in alphabetical order if you forget. Just sing your alphabets. 1/2 times 1 plus b. Okay, what's 1/2 times 1? That's hard. Exactly. So, what now? How would you solve for b? Opposite of positive 1/2 would be negative. So subtract 1/2 from both sides, and b equals, what is 1 minus 1/2? 0.5. Which is what fraction? 1/2. Exactly. So plus 1/2. Does that make sense? Looking at the graph, does 1/2 look like a good answer? Yeah, it would split it. It would split it in half. That would make sense if you drew a diagonal, and because that's even 2, 1. So that half of 1, if it split 1 into half, would be 1/2. So again, to check your answer, you would put this in y equals, and your table should show these 2 points. If it doesn't, you've done something wrong. So the biggest mistake on this problem that students could make is if they use the other point. So just real quick, if we use the other point, and y'all do not have to write this down, x is negative 1, so 1/2 times negative 1 plus b equals my y, which would be 0. So the mistake that students would make is that they would magically move that equal sign in between the 2 numbers. So 0 equals negative 1/2 plus b. So you could easily get close, but it'd be the wrong sign. So you would either move the negative 1/2 over or add it. So the opposite of a negative would be a positive. So still b would equal positive 1/2, either way. So that's where students would make a mistake. And that is using the alternate point. Okay, number 2. You are given the slope and a point. And we are looking for in standard form. Can we go straight to standard form? No, you cannot go straight to standard form. You can go to, so you have to use point slope form, or you don't give a b, so there is no, you could solve for the b and then write your equation in slope-intercept form, but you're better off using point slope form and then changing that to standard form. Okay, so I'm going to show you a shortcut on this one and a future one. I think it's either obviously 3 or 4. it's going to be another one with a fraction, and we're going to have to distribute. So I'm going to show you a shortcut on this one. So everybody have their point slope formula written down? So y minus your y1 equals your m and x minus x1. Okay, go ahead and plug it in. So, since we're putting both negative numbers, what happens to my two signs? They're both positive. Okay, and I've got my negative 1/12 for my m. So what's my y value? 6 or 2? 2. And then x is 6. Okay, so standard form, there's two rules. What was x has to be positive and no what?
Fraction.
No fraction. So right off the bat, we have a fraction. So I would recommend getting rid of the fraction initially, and you'll see why on the next problem set. So what is my denominator? 12. So we're going to get rid of the 12. So to get rid of it, you multiply by it. Okay, so the way it works is we're just going to do 12 times y is 12y. 12 times 2 is 24. And that's one of those that you should at least know at least 3 times 12. Because how many inches are in a foot? 12. So that's good to have on everyday life. So then 12 times negative 1/12. Again, when you multiply times the denominator, you end up with just the numerator. So that's negative 1. So you have a choice. You can rewrite, and you can put negative 1 times x plus 6, or you can go ahead and distribute. What do y'all want to do? Okay. So because we multiplied what's being multiplied to what's in parentheses, we're done with the 12. Okay, so the 12 cancels. So now we're going to take that negative 1 and distribute. So negative 1 times x is negative x. Negative 1 times 6 is negative 6. Is x positive? No. So let's move it. So if it is negative over here, it's going to be positive on the other side. So positive x. And if 12y is already positive, you're going to put a plus sign. Okay, so now that is gone. What do I need to get rid of on the left? Because I'm only supposed to have x plus 12y. Exactly. Opposite of positive 24 is negative. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. And the rules of addition, if the signs are the same, you add and keep the sign. So we're keeping the sign. And 24 plus 6 is 30. So again, being able to check your answer is just as important as being able to do it. Reason is, if you are given 4 multiple choice answers and they're all in standard form, if you can check your answer, you can always backtrack. Okay, so to check your answer, you take your point, negative 6 and negative 2, and you plug it in. So x is negative 6, so negative 6 plus 12 times negative 2. And your question is, does it equal negative 30? So either in your head or in calculator, you just put that in. You're just replacing the points back into the equation that you ended up with. So of course, negative 2 times 12 is negative 24. Negative 6 and negative 24 does equal negative 30. And that's a good way to check your answer. And also it'll keep you from making a simple sign mistake. And for you not getting your points. Okay.